なら目をお来気
So here we are again. This is a game called Planet of Lana, and once again I am back doing a left to right game, and a bit of a theme recently, isn't it? I'm doing these left to right games all the time. This one is a game I played way back in the day when it first came out, and for whatever reason I got distracted with something else. Never actually finished it. Now the sequel comes out in a few days, well, is it a week, maybe 2 weeks, and I just wanted to do the review for the first game before the second one came out. If you are watching this, obviously you know I cover PC games exclusively, but the game is also coming out on Xbox Game Pass, and it's also coming out on PC Game Pass, so if you've got Game Pass subs, then yeah, you're all set. And I do believe it's coming out on PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, and obviously Nintendo Switch. Planet of Lana is one of those games that I don't want to tell you a great deal about. I think it's like other sideways scrolling games. The delivery and the story and the animation are all part of the experience, and so I'm going to play some very early footage as I'm talking to you about it. But I'm just going to say, take my recommendation. This is a really excellent example of this genre of game. You start off as Lana, obviously. The village you live in is depicted by really nice animation, beautiful sunshine coming down, lots of foliage around. It's a really lovely place to live, and Lana wakes up and she's surrounded by people, and she's obviously got this friend called Eno. They call to each other, they go for a walk, and very quickly the wheel comes off. You see this attack by what seems to be like an alien force coming down on the planet, and you run back through the village you were just kind of like wistfully wandering through, and now it's all chaos. People are being abducted by these alien creatures that are very mechanical. And it becomes obvious very fast, these creatures are here to enslave and kill your population. So speaking of the visuals, I might as well cover these first. I think this is definitely one of the highlights of the game. It's one of the best aspects of Planet of Lana. They've used this palette that is the backdrop of the entire game, and it feels like, to me, like a watercolor that's being brought to life, like trees or like a shot of green moving in the distance, and then followed by other splodges of green. But there is enough detail there to make it look like an actual place. Colours in the village going throughout. This is a very beautiful game, and then it's backed up by these really exquisite hand-drawn animations. People moving around with like very unique animations. There's some like chopping wood. There's somebody in a kitchen making some food, and all of this is playing out around you as you move through in the first sequence. And you immediately get a sense that the developers, they've spent a lot of time building this world and making choices about how things look. They want to deliver a realistic world for you to get lost in, and they've definitely succeeded with that. I also found it interesting that the developer, Adam, and his wife have got a history with documentary making, filmmaking, and animation, and so they've also got some Studio Ghibli influences in here, and you can definitely see that through the colour, through the style of the faces of the characters. I think the two films that were mentioned were Spirited Away and Ponyo. And if you're a fan of Studio Ghibli and you've seen them films, you'll definitely know what I'm talking about when you play this game.
lang na. Muy. Chai muy. Ona la na. Meno. Pamalutiga muy. Olay. Ilo.
So Lana isn't on her own. On her endeavours, she actually meets very early on a little creature, which I would describe as a cross between, say, a cat and a monkey. A little black creature called Moi. And it's part of the duo. As you walk around, you gain a certain amount of control over this little creature. You save its life when you basically meet it twice, I think. And so that ends up being this relationship, this bond. And that bond forms the core of the gameplay loop. So in terms of controls, it's a very simple game. You start off playing as Lana, you wake up, you can move left, you can move right, you can jump, you can duck down to get underneath things and crawl into gaps. And that is basically it for the start. It's only when you meet Moi that you start to gain a bit more control over things. So you can direct Moi to move to certain locations, interact with certain objects. So you can leave him or her, I don't know what sex the creature is, let's say her. You can leave her to sit near an object with an interact button. Then you can run off and do something else, and at the right time you can press the interact button and get the sequence to happen properly. A lot of this game is about timing, but as I've mentioned the puzzles, it's not a game that'll have you pulling your hair out like for hours. There are one or two puzzles that I had to spend some time sitting down and working things out. But if you've played games before, you'll know the script. It's not that hard. There's one particular puzzle with a music instrument system, and you've basically got to look around at the environment, work out what things mean, and then you'll make your way through. You'll do it. It's quite a nice puzzle, and these puzzles are very satisfying to use because not only are they quite well made, but they're also very visually pleasing. They've all got bespoke animations, and it is a good time if you like sideways puzzle platformers. So it becomes pretty obvious straight away that although Lana seems to be human, this is not Earth. The creatures in the biomes, they're not anything we've ever seen before, so we have to assume this is a different planet than Earth. But also the characters, while they are conversing with each other, they're not actually speaking English or any language that I can depict. It's almost like Simish. Now, you can actually kind of tell what they're saying through the expressions, through the tone, through the pitch, through the tempo, and hand gestures. And I love the way that they've done this. Now, I've learned something today. This is called paralanguage. And this is exactly that. It's the way that we see language and communication through anything other than words. It's the actual sound of the words and the way we move around them. Now, while we're on the subject of sound, I also want to mention the music. The music in Planet of Lana is exquisite. There is no other word for it. It's absolutely on point. It comes in at the right moments. It evokes this really nice feeling of mystery and suspense, danger when it's needed, and just this, it just is absolutely spot on. And I didn't know this, but the composer they brought in to do the music is a guy called Takeshi Furukawa, and he was actually the composer on The Last Guardian, a game I played late in the day, as usual. I played it years after everyone else, and I remember the music in that game was a very integral part of the experience. It, again, brought out all these emotions, and it was just exquisitely done. So yeah, the music in this game, absolutely top drawer. So when I did my Reanimal review, a discussion about gameplay time and how much actual time you get out of a game became quite pertinent, because a lot of people said that game was too short. Now, I've said this and I'll say it again. I really urge people not to get bogged down with how long a game lasts for. I would urge people to say, what did I get from this game? I mean, some of my favourite sideways scroller games last 2, 3, 4 hours, but that experience in them 3 or 4 hours is absolutely amazing. And so that's what I want from some games, is just to have a short shot of amazing, awe-inspiring gameplay and then go on to the next game, and that's fine with me. So in my time with Planet of Lana, I think I got about 7 hours total from the game from start to finish, and for me that was absolutely perfect. There are some sequences that are just so magical. I will just say like a hint towards one of them, and it's the sunrise scene. The music, the actual what's going on the screen, it is just absolutely on point and perfect. So this game is definitely worth picking up and playing through if you enjoy this type of game, and it is one of the best examples of this genre. So if it's not already obvious, yeah, I recommend Planet of Lana to every player. I think this is a really interesting, beautiful and thought-inspiring game, and it's just so well made. You just can't help but praise the developers. They love what they do, they love their craft, and they've got so many different influences from different places. And this also makes me look forward to the sequel, which is out in a couple of days. And it's obvious from the trailer they've really leaned into some of the more interesting mechanics. And for example, now you can swim down underneath the water. There seems to be more interaction between Moi and the wildlife around the planet. So yeah, I'm looking forward to reviewing it. As always, thank you for stopping by, guys. I really appreciate you watching my video till the end, and I hope you found it interesting. I hope it's pointed you in the right direction of Planet of Lana, and maybe you'll enjoy it. I would really appreciate a like, a subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and most of all, a comment. I would like to know, have you played this game in the past? Have you ever heard of it? Is this like the first time you've seen it? And are you planning on playing the sequel? But that's all for now, guys. Hope you're all well, and I will see you in the next video. Take care. Bye bye.